25 and it's 10 o'clock. That means, of course, trading has opened for the day on the floor of the exchanges in Nigeria, at Lagos, Abuja, and at the Onitsha Exchange. A day of business, of course, started long ago, early this morning in Onitsha, Aba, Enugu, Port Harcourt, Asaba, Ariaria, Abakaliki, and wherever you are. Good morning to you. My name is Nnamdi Obanya, and you're welcome to the Afia Business Morning. Morning today, IMO versus EDC, a special commodity report from Onitsha, and of course, you know, trading on the floor of the Nigerian Exchange is open for today. The exchange in London opened an hour ago. New York Exchange is yet to open, while in China, the exchanges open at 2 a.m. local time. On opening bell, we'll be looking at how the markets closed yesterday, as well as news from around the Eastern region on the Eastern Business Report. But first, the Afia News Updates.
Hello and welcome to the news update. I'm John Udinibo. On the news update, the Southeast Zonal Executive Committee of the People's Democratic Party has unanimously nominated Honorable Sunday Udokoye as the National Secretary of the party. Moving on to Abuja, where the Nigerian Senate has commenced moves to pass the Federal Capital Territory 2025 budget of 1.78 trillion naira. In other news, the University of Nigeria and Nsukka branch of the Academic Staff Union of Universities has threatened to take legal actions against the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board over the high failure rate in the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination. On the foreign scene, reports say the wars fighting in Libya's capital for years calmed on Wednesday after the government announced a ceasefire. And finally, in the update, the Nigerian Football Federation has extended a get well soon message to Super Eagles striker Taiwo Awoniyi after the Nottingham Forest forward underwent emergency surgery for an abdominal injury on Monday. And that's so much I have on the news update. Do also follow us on our social media platforms at Afia TV Official. I'm John Udinibo. Many thanks for watching.
Welcome to Opening Bell on the Afia Business Morning, broadcasting live on Afia TV, channel 254 DSTV, 17 Go TV, and of course 748 on Free TV from the beautiful coast city. Of course, Enugu is where we are. My name is Nnamdi Obanya. The NGX ended yesterday on a high, and so did the indices on the floor of the exchanges in China. But it was a mixed bag at the exchanges in London and in the US. Plus, what is it with Anambra and taxation? All this and more in the next half hour. Opening bell starts right now. On the Afia Business Morning, the Nigerian Stock Exchange ended on a high yesterday. It was a mixed bag at the exchanges in London and the US. We'll be looking at how the markets ended yesterday, as well as our commodity reports. But first, let's take some news stories, beginning with news from the oil and gas subsector of the commodity sector, where we hear that the presidency has revealed that Nigeria has attracted over $8 billion, or about 12.8 trillion naira, in investments in deep water projects and gas final investment decisions in just 1 year. year. This was disclosed yesterday by Olu Verheyen, the special advisor on energy to President Bola Tinubu at the 2025 CEO Forum held in Abuja, Cote d'Ivoire. Verheyen further urged the African investors, DFIs, banks, pension funds, and sovereigns to be strategic in focus and strive to fill the vacuum left by the international oil companies, not just with funding, but with fit-for-purpose instruments and risk-sharing structures. Staying with the oil and gas subsector of the commodities sector, but this time on the global stage, and the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries yesterday announced that it will maintain its previous forecast for global oil demand growth in 2025 and 2026. It disclosed this in its monthly oil market report, where OPEC projected a year-on-year increase of 1.3 million barrels per day in both 2025 and 2026, unchanged from last month's estimates, and also noted that increased capacity and healthy petrochemical margins in non-OECD countries were expected to drive further growth in oil demand. In spite of steady global economic trends, OPEC slightly lowered its global economic growth forecast for 2025 by 0.1 percentage points to 2.9%, citing recent tariff-related developments, with forecasts for 2026 remaining unchanged at 3.1%. And finally, from the currency market, where the Naira yesterday reclaimed additional value against the US dollar at the Nigerian foreign exchange market, the official FX spot platform of the central bank, supported by offshore inflow, while simultaneously the gross external reserves balance continues to rise with the latest round of inflows from various sources. The interbank market remained liquid, driven largely by inflows from foreign portfolio investors, with external market sentiments improving as Nigeria successfully settled its $3.4 billion debt obligation to the International Monetary Fund, according to an official report confirmed by the multilateral lender. CBN FX spot data showed that the Naira recorded a slight gain, appreciating by 3 basis points to close at 1,600 Naira and 3 kobo per US dollar, with transactions during the session staying within a tight band of 1,597 Naira to 1,610 Naira and 50 kobo, as analysts anticipate the exchange rate will maintain its present trading band. The exchange rate at the parallel market remained flat at 1,635 Naira. Okay, let's dive straight onto the floors of our featured exchanges, starting on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, where the NGX All-Share Index yesterday closed on a high, rising by 0.27%, a rise of 296.72 points to close at 109,059.33 points. A total of 531,287,255 shares valued at 19,808,088,548 Naira and 15 kobo were traded across 14,870 deals, with equity capitalization of 68,543,962,243,254 Naira. The biggest gainers of the day were Nigerian Flour Mills and MC Nichols, which rose by 10%, while other gainers were Champion, Cavatin, and FTN Cocoa. On the other hand, Multiverse topped the losers list with a decline of 9.63%, while other losers were Geregu, Legend, Veritas Capital, and Transcorp. Straight to the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, where it's more rises than dip in index values. The NYSE Composite is down by minus 0.37%. The NYSE 100 Index down by 0.54%. Dow Jones Industrial Average down by 0.16%. S&P 500 Index up by 0.15%. NYSE FANG and CM Index up by 0.6%. Nasdaq Composite up by 0.72%. And the Nasdaq 100 is up by 0.57%. And onto the floor of the London Stock Exchange, where it's mostly dips. FTSE 100 down by 0.21%, FTSE 250 up by 0.29%, but the FTSE 350 down by 0.15%, and the FTSE All-Share Index also down by 0.14%. Moving on to China and onto the floor of the Shenzhen Exchange, where it's all rises. The Shenzhen Component Index is up by 0.64%, SZIC Composite Index up by 0.52%, and the Chinex Index is up by 1.01%. Staying in China, but this time onto the floor of the Shanghai Exchange, and still all rises there. SSE Composite Index up by 0.86%, the SSE 50 Index up by 1.69%, Star 50 Index up by 0.41%. The SSE 180 index up by 1.18%. SSE 380 index up by 0.15%. And the CSI 300 index is up by 1.21%. We'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be looking at our commodity prices as well as our consumer price watch in the open market, and we'll be trying to find out why Anambra and taxation issues are joined at the hip. Opening bell, we'll be right back.
With United Nigeria Airlines, every destination tells a story of unity and strength in the skies. Enjoy a curated selection of meals and beverages, seamless entertainment options, and personalized service designed to make every journey memorable. Planning your next trip has never been easier. With our user-friendly mobile app, you can book flights, manage your itinerary, and even check in right at your fingertip. Rely on our commitment to on-time departures, safety, and reliability, ensuring you arrive at your destination hassle-free. Unite how you unite. Fly United Nigeria Airlines.
Obanya, and you're welcome back to Opening Bell on the Afia Business Morning, showing on Afia TV, channel 254 DSTV, of course, 17 on Go TV and 748 on Free TV. And we are broadcasting live from Coal City, Enugu. Now it's time to check in on our commodity prices, and we begin with our precious metals and its downward movement for gold and other precious metals. Gold is down by 2.1%, trading at $3,180.13 per troy ounce. Palladium down by 0.89%, platinum down by 1.31%, silver down by 2.34%. And moving on to energy prices, natural gas down by 4.3%, coal down by 2.81%, Brent crude down by 1.25%, still no action. Almost 300 days on Bonny Light crude, Brass River up by 2.32%, just like Kwa Ibo. Brass River trading at $68.29 per barrel, Kwa Ibo trading at $68.34 per barrel. Industrial metal prices now, aluminum up by 0.62%, lead down by 0.64%, copper up by 0.51%, nickel is down 0.89%, zinc down by 1.77%, and a very marginal rise of 0.03% up for tin. All right, let's take a look at our other commodity prices, this time in the open market. Food prices haven't really shifted in any direction whatsoever, but it's still consistent, still going for between 90 and 100,000 for a bag of rice most places in the country. However, it gets as high as 110. In the southeast, Enugu, you can get as low as 94,000, but still go as high as 110,000. 4-liter basin or one painter, as they call it, still consistent, between 10 and 15,000. For a bag of beans, steady at 65,000 naira most places in the country. The 4-liter basin going for between 5,500 and 6,000. Gari prices between 55 and 70,000. Lagos at the lower end of the scale. Enugu at the higher end, as high as 70,000. Yam prices still steady at 7,000. The much-awaited drop due to the rains hasn't yet come, but we're expecting it any minute. The big tubers still going for as high as 7,000 naira. Of course, the smaller ones going for 4,000. Much cheaper in Lagos and Abuja. For plantains, full bunch still going for about 12,000 naira in the Enugu and Anambra environs. Proximity to agrarian areas will have the price drop to about 8,000 naira. Lagos and Abuja, excuse me, also as high as 12,000 naira. Cooking oil prices Palm oil still steady, still about 15,000 for 25 liters. Groundnut oil, the same price, about 18,000 liters, but just for 5 liters, 25 liters going as high as 60,000 naira. Vegetable oil, mimicking groundnut oil prices almost to the T, between 15 and 18,000 for 5 liters. Southeast having higher prices and about 40 to 60,000 for 25 liters. Fuel prices haven't changed either, despite Dangote marginally reducing the price at his depot, still going for between 920 and 950 naira per liter at most stations in the southeast. Lagos still going for between 880 and 930 naira. Diesel prices between 1,150 and 1,300 in the southeast. Enugu marginally lower. Lagos Abuja prices between 992 and 1,050 naira. Kerosene prices between 1,100 and 1,200 most places in the country. Lagos marginally lower. Cooking gas prices between 1,350 and 1,500 per kilogram. Southeast marginally higher average between 150 and 1,500 on the average in the southeast. Of course, we'll have a special commodity report from Onitsha on the Eastern Business Report later, so you don't want to miss that. But we'll go on one final break. When we come back, why is everyone complaining about taxes and levies in Anambra State? Find out when Opening Bell returns.
Good evening to you, viewer, and welcome to Women in Business, a show that profiles women, executives, and even the next door store owners, showcasing Igbo greatness to the world.
I started always obsessed with books ever since I was a child.
The stress of always converting naira to dollar and...
An incompetent means an incompetent person.
What are your thoughts on the spate of sex for grades in Nigerian universities?
This very issue of owing salary should be criminalized.
How can they amplify their voices?
People don't have evidence.
You want to get to know about it? Have to stay tuned right here on Afia Morning Show to get the pulse and the feel of that.
Join us on Gyno Plus every Wednesday at 6 p.m. right here on Afia TV, DSTV channel 254, and GoTV channel 17, where we will delve into health issues affecting girls and women in society.
Breastfeeding doesn't even cause breastfeeding. The frequency of breastfeeding means the approach you take to make sure that your well-being is maintained.
Welcome to the latest and most amazing show on here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lunch Break.
You don't sing along.
I did single. For real.
You're not a backup singer.
I'm saying do that. Time check, it's 2 p.m. and it's time for us to vibe, chill, and relax. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lunch Break on Afia TV. So Lunch Break is all about the music, it's all about fun, it's all about entertainment, it's all about entertaining gossip and stories from social, it's all about the latest trends, it's about what's lit, it's all about the games with our guests, and yes, in general, I like to say it's all about the vibes and vibes only.
Good evening to you, viewer, and welcome to Women in Business, a show that profiles women, executives, and even the next door store owners, showcasing Igbo greatness to to the world?
I started always obsessed with books ever since I was a child.
The stress of always converting naira to dollar and...
An incompetent means an incompetent person.
Afia Business Morning, and you're welcome back to Opening Bell on Afia Channel 254 DSTV and of course 17 Go TV and 748 Free TV. I'm still in Nnamdi Obanya. Now, Anambra is a commercial jewel in the country with Onitsha and Nnewi, two continental commercial powerhouses that would make significant boost to the IGR of any state in Nigeria. Although issues like infrastructure and security have plagued the state, now perhaps it's more of a self-inflicted wound. Cumbersome and quasi-legal revenue collection. Why are the traders and customers groaning about it? Let's get into it. Last year, the Anambra State Internal Revenue Service set an ambitious target of generating 10 billion naira monthly from just tax. Ambitious, yes. But the very next month, Ariaria, the Senior Special Assistant to Governor Chukwuma Soludo on IGR, revealed that Anambra State had recorded a remarkable increase in its monthly internally generated revenue, growing from 2.2 billion to 5.2 billion naira during 2024, a growth of over 100%. So obviously, when it comes to IGR, Governor Soludo means business. He has a lot of lofty projects and wants to raise revenue for these projects. Now, nothing is wrong with a governor raising money. However, the manner in which the state has gone after these funds is what has left a bitter taste in the mouth of India Anambra. Take, for instance, the selection of the revenue collection partner, Bigly Oil. Many claim that the bidding process was flawed and many of the bidders felt the price was too high. And one even raised concern that this very high price could lead to very unpalatable scenarios when revenue collectors needed to raise these huge amounts by any means necessary. And almost as if he was a prophet from the Old Testament, revenue collection in Anambra State has now become a bone in the throat of the government and the people alike. Now, for the people, the unrelenting, incessant harassment by touts and extortion at every turn has made commercial activities more cumbersome and expensive. The checkpoints along Owerri Road, the stops at main markets, Opi Weka, new tires and more have become a source of frustration to traders, customers, and transport and logistics operators alike. This makes doing business very expensive, and also the costs are transferred to consumers and final customers, making goods and services very expensive. For the government, it's not any better. The state's revenue services reputation has taken a hit despite the best efforts of the executive chairman, Dr. Greg Ezilo. It got so bad that the public openly accused Bigly Oil and Gas of recruiting touts to intimidate, harass, and forcefully extort people. Even the executive director of operations of the State Internal Revenue Service, Dr. Christian Madubuko, claimed he caught the Bigly boys with tramadol and other hard drugs while on duty. Then there was the incident where angry residents of Onitsha set two revenue agents ablaze in reaction to the death of an innocent bystander at Old Market Road, when a tipper driver lost control of his vehicle while the revenue agents were dragging the steering with him, causing the vehicle to ram into the bystander, killing him instantly. Now, the cries of the public were so loud with all this that the project manager of the state revenue corporate agents, Bigly Oil and Gas, Chukwuma Umabiuku Michael, had to come out and explain that the company had engaged and empowered 300 youths, not touts, and had warned them that under no circumstances should they be seen, doing anything wrong like holding cigarettes or sachet of alcohol in any of the revenue bits covered by Bigly Oil and Gas Company. But the scandal with Bigly Oil doesn't end here. At a point, even the executive chairman of the Anambra Internal Revenue Service, Dr. Greg Ezilo, was accused by his own executive director of operations, Dr. Christian Madubuko, of collecting 4 million naira and 2 cows from Mr. Ken Wankwo, the CEO of Bigly Oil, for his also title taken at Igboukwu, and also claimed that that's Mr. Wankwo, gave Dr. Ejilo another 20 million naira to be able to secure the appointment letter for the upstream and downstream revenue buckets. Now, of course, Dr. Ejilo has never brushed off all these allegations, and the truth is nothing has come out of them since then. So it's all speculation. But it still doesn't end there. These issues with the revenue collection still continue till today. Just recently, tricycle operators under the umbrella of the Anambra Tricycle Riders Association, ANTRA, cried out over incessant humiliation of their members by hoodlums across the state. They allege that these hoodlums are masquerading as government revenue agents to carry out illegal activities. They even had to take their case to the State Assembly, where thankfully, Right Honorable Som Chuchuku Udeze and other members of the Assembly passed a resolution in support of the Anambra State Tricycle Riders Association, a resolution that thankfully has also been endorsed by Governor Charles Soludo. But it doesn't end there. The Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria has threatened to shut down operations in Anambra on June 12th over what they described as multiple taxation in the state. Now, according to the chairman of IPMAN, Enugu Depot Community, in charge of Anambra, Ebonyi, and Enugu states, that's Comrade Chinedu Anyaso, they are tired of the harassment, molestation, intimidation, and extortion of IPMAN members through multiple levies by officers of the Anambra State Internal Revenue Service. He warned that if the Anambra State government fails to address these issues within 21 days, the association would have no option than to shut down all petrol stations across the state. He complained that members have lost a lot of money to these uncontrolled taxes in Anambra State, adding that they are dying in Anambra State. They said they paid 120,000 naira in 2024 to the state government as monthly levy, but to their surprise, they started paying above the stipulated amount from January 2025. They say this development is making it difficult for them to operate smoothly in the state. Now, Chairman of the Anambra Internal Revenue Service, Chief Greg Ezelo, has, however, assured the marketers that the state government will set up a committee to address the issues. So Anambra has taken some action from time to time, as we can see, and has even taken some more steps to combat these issues. They have, for one, introduced and are pushing digital payments. The state government has also arrested 3 suspected illegal revenue collectors in Onitsha. They were arrested in the early hours of Tuesday, April 6th, extorting and intimidating traders, residents, and motorists in the commercial city of the state. They were also masquerading themselves as the government IGR collectors. Even at local government level, the secretary to Idemili North Local Government Area, Mr. Paul Okoye, has introduced digitalization of revenue collection to reduce touting considerably in Idemili North. Then, of course, there is the solution lens, which the Anambra State government just launched to promote transparency and allow the Anambra to see every action of government. All very laudable attempts to combat the issues, but it's also important to go back to the roots of revenue collection strategy and get it right. Anambra is a commercial Jew, and all must be done to optimize the resources and maximize the gains, and I'll leave it at that. A quick break. Opening bell is done, but don't forget the Business Morning continues. And of course, Opening Bell will return tomorrow when the exchanges reopen for trading. You can watch episodes of the Obanya monologue on our YouTube page. Just go to Afia TV Official on YouTube and enjoy. When we come back on the Afia Business Morning, how can formal education help business people in the region? And why is Imo at war with EEDC? Afia Business Morning, we'll be right back.
Onitsha, a city of commerce, culture, and resilience. But for many women and youths, opportunities were scarce.
After service, when I did not have any job, what came to my mind then was going to go home.
Then, 5 years ago, in the midst of a global crisis, change took root.
When I was shortlisted to learn a skill in Onitsha Youth Leadership Program, it made me to zero my mind off, away from that. Yes. So I I started the training. Then I got the skill. So after the training, I'm now able to make money from that skill.
Born out of the challenges of the pandemic, the Onitsha Advancement Foundation, ONAF, was founded under the vision of His Majesty Agbogide Igwe Alfred Nnemeka Achebe, the Obi of Onitsha.
What a tradition, I'll say it in Igbo and then I will translate it. Also, the Chubanwanyi. So when a woman is not feeling comfortable in a marriage and the marriage is broken down, she has a right of return to her own paternal family, and she has a right to get accommodation there. It's a tradition.
For over 2 decades, His Majesty has championed initiatives that transform lives. Through ONAF, he has spearheaded skills acquisition programs, business loan schemes, and financial literacy training, all designed to create economic independence, particularly for women.
If you grow the wealth of the community progressively, antisocial behavior, including gender violence, will go down. Okay, it's frustration that leads to people's mindset getting violent against each other.
What began as an urgent response to crisis has evolved into a movement of empowerment and community transformation.
And they will have a working medical center right in the center of our community. The centerpiece of that will be the health insurance program. For 12,000 naira, 12,500 naira a year, any Onitsha person who is registered can get 90% of all the medical requirements that they need, including prescription.
Okay, my name is Eni Chebunigom Rita Okolonji Meliform. I'm a nurse. I gained my experience and expertise in stroke care, rehabilitation, nursing in the UK, but brought that back home. The Abogide's heart cry is that in the village, we have to find out the needs of the women. What are they going through? So the women empowerment started with their outreach program. They went to every single village, 21 villages in Onitsha, to find out what their needs are.
For Marianne, life before ONAF was a daily struggle. A young graduate, lost and jobless, she found herself at a crossroads until she heard about the Obi of Onitsha's empowerment program.
Life has been very exciting after the OYLP program, the empowerment program, because I was able to acquire a skill, which is makeup and design. So I have that skill already, and also I have a job.
Marianne's story is one of many. Across Onitsha, women and youths are finding new paths to financial independence, dignity, and hope.
With all the knowledge that he has come home to work at the grassroots. This is even a stage below the local government level. This is pure community level, home-based. So he is here with us.
So if you're about youth empowerment, women empowerment, and change. That is my focus. Okay?
What began as a response to crisis has become a legacy of empowerment. As Onitsha moves forward, its people are proving that true development is built on opportunity, dignity, and resilience.